Another famous arena, not quite so famous, the Don Valley Stadium. Sheffield Eagles ahead by 26 points to 16 in the Cooperative Championship. And not a lot to choose between these two sides. Who is going to be up and away at the end of this evening? And talking of hot air, here's Terry O'Connor.
Do you know, I was going to say, that's an expensive way to watch the game, isn't it? The expense people go to watch this game of rugby league.
Youngquest gets the second half underway, and I wonder if these two sides will moderate their approach, or will they just keep slogging it out and exchanging tries. Certainly one thing that Gateshead will be looking to do is to improve the discipline, which was so expensive in that first half.
Definitely the part of the game that most let them down. They gave away field position, they gave away possession, and it cost them. Mentally and physically, they weren't strong enough to withhold that pressure.
But do you not think, though, Barry, the one-up tackle, Steve McCormack was saying you've got to improve on that?
Menzieri again, another strong run from him, and Dylan Nash with the tackle. 5 tackles gone in this set of 6 as Lindsay finds Kyle Wood and kicks into open space. It's a good kick. Cross comes Robin Pears to pick it up for the Thunder.
And that's been very impressive. They've always found the floor and they've not kicked it to a Gateshead player. Obviously seeing what Johnny Woolcock can do when he catches the ball and returns it. Nick Youngquest can do exactly the same if that ball goes to his hands.
3 tackles gone. And Gateshead in possession on their own 40-metre line. It's 10 points separating these two sides. Here's Nathan Massey, one of the loanees from the Castleford Tigers, on the last now. And a kick that turns young Ashley Thackeray around, but he watches that one drift over the dead ball line.
We had the dead ball debate on Boots and all last night, whether a team actually gains when they kick the ball out on the full by having an organised defence. I'm not too sure where I stand on that, but let's see what Sheffield can make of this.
Here's Ryan Hepworth in possession. 8 first-choice players out injured for the Sheffield Eagles this evening. It's a commendable performance from this side with that in mind. And one of them is Aaron Groom, their Fijian international, missing, and he's talking to Ben Pro now.
Aaron, out with that cruciate injury. What's the latest?
Mate, not good news. Season over. I've had surgery about 5 weeks ago now, so I think the soonest we'll be back is about 6 months. So I'm hoping to be back for sort of December, get a good pre-season in, and fortunately that's about as close as I'm going to get, I think.
So it's 2010, but the game here ended that first half with a 10-point lead, but it could have been so much better than that.
Yeah, mate, it was a bit disappointing. I mean, we would build up a good lead, and that sort of, there's only, you know, maybe a 5-10 minute period there near the end, and they put two quick tries on us. I mean, a 10-point lead in half is all right, but yeah, like you said, it could have been a lot better. I mean, you know, we spoke about it all week, playing consistently and playing the 80, and that little lapse may come back to haunt us, hopefully not. Hopefully we get over here, I don't know, see what happens.
Let's see if they can, because the Eagles in possession now. And Lindsay, oh, that's a poor pass. Down on the ground. Surely that was a knock-on.
Seemed to drift backwards, but the worrying thing for me is Gateshead coming out in the second half as they started the first.
The ball's been intercepted, and they're away here with Franze, and Franze will get the second try of the game for him. And that is exactly what Gateshead Thunder needed in the starting moments of the second half. Franze intercepting that. And on the scoreboard for the second time tonight, the former Cronulla man, and Sheffield on the attack at one end, turned and saw him disappearing into the distance.
You're right, Bill. They needed something Gateshead. Mike Haley for Sheffield run really hard onto the ball, but Franz comes up, he reads the play absolutely spot on. He looks up, he sees that he's short, it's the big ball that they're going to use, it's the big play, he reads that to perfection. And he's just too quick for the covering defender of Ashley Thackeray to get to, but good try from this Gateshead side.
Had a spell with the Castleford Tigers, Paul Franze, and short-lived unhappy spell with the Tigers in 2006, and went off to rugby union then, but back in the game now. Seamus McCallion there, the Gateshead Thunder physio, just keeping an eye on things.
But the worrying part again for the Gateshead side is they give a penalty away because they didn't control the tackle and they stripped the ball. That is why they're defending in their own 20.
Knowles then with this conversion attempt. And Gateshead will be back within range of the Sheffield Eagles if Knowles can land this one. He's missed it, he snatched at the ball. 26-20 the score though, in favour of the Sheffield Eagles. And it was Paul Franze who broke away and left the Eagles defenders in his wake. And the coach just wants to know how that managed to happen.
I think he's questioning whether the Franze player is onside or offside, from Gateshead, sorry. It's always a dangerous ploy whenever you go for the intercept, unless you catch it and run the full length of the pitch.
Brannigan was under the restart, almost didn't get there in time. Gateshead in possession.
Movement, go!
He's certainly up quick. I think he may have a case.
Went looking for that ball, for that intercept. And Sheffield go looking for Gateshead there.
Go!
Here come the Thunder now with Chris Kaler. They're loose forward.
Go!
Kaler on his own 40-metre line plays the ball, and then Brannigan goes for a 40-20, and Thackeray relieved to see that one just bite into the ground. It didn't carry on spinning, bounced up nicely for him, and Ashley Thackeray returns the ball.
He read that play to perfection. He knew that Luke Brannigan was in perfect position to come up with that 40-20. He dropped right back and positioned himself right just after that 20-yard line, but good play from the winger.
Trevor Exton it was getting to his feet to play the ball. Now the Eagles just inside their own half with Kyle Wood, with, beg your pardon, with Peter Green it was. 4 tackles gone. Exton again. Lindsay now shifts the ball out wide. 5 tackles gone. And Danny Mills plays the ball. And Menzieri will chase that one down the sidelines, and Youngquest didn't want anything to do with that.
Sensibly letting that ball drift out. He had to be careful though, there was plenty of pressure coming from Sheffield. And the point that you make, Tez, is a very good one. Steve McCormack would have said, make sure you contact. Let's have a look at this onside, offside.
Okay, out!
I don't know, I think it's just good skill, mate. I think it's just good skill, and if you've got that in your armoury, if you've got that in your kit bag and you bring it every week to play and you get it more often than you're not, then you're a hero. But going back to that point, Tez, Steve McCormack could have said, if your contact's better, your grapple and wrestle is better, we won't need to give penalties away on the floor.
Hold, go!
3 tackles gone in this set of 6 for Gateshead, and Chris Kaler almost drifting through the static Eagles defence there. Henderson, one-handed scoop from him, the Thunder captain. That's the 5th tackle.
5th and last tackle. 5 and last.
Aitken, Franze will chip down the line for Pears to chase, and Woodcock knows his territory, knew exactly how that would turn out.
And again, just too much weight, but they're playing a lot better. They're making big inroads now into this Sheffield defence. Every time they carry the ball, someone's pushing up in support. They're not lone rangers running on their own. But this is the part where they've got to control the ruck. They've got to get numbers in and really try and slow this Sheffield side down.
Referee calls held, and every time now there's a situation like that, you'd think that they're going to concede another penalty, and they will.
He's quite correct. Liam Watts just had another stab at the ball. Just watch his right arm. He's not in control. What does he do? I think I'll just have a little tug to see if I can get it loose. It's not the referee's fault. The referee's only penalising what he sees.
Well, I'm surprised that somebody hasn't been invited to spend a bit of time in the sin bin, the way this has gone. He did have a word with Henderson in the first half, I think. 9-1 that penalty count.
And Andrew Henderson again had his hand on the ball. Let's have a look in this next couple of collisions, whether we can see, again,
go.
Hands on the ball. Ryan McBride that time.
Brendan Lindsay finds Trevor Exton, and Exton, oh, great ball from Exton, finds Lindsay. Lovely ball from Lindsay to the Hepworth then, and Hepworth fancying a second maybe.
Hold, go.
Here's Green. Green, a lovely offload, and Lindsay gets the try. Wonderful offload from Peter Green there to set up the try for Brendan Lindsay, and Lindsay celebrating, agreeing another year at the club with that try, his 8th of the season. And Sheffield Eagles hit back after Franz's try.
Trevor Exton, you can see the contact in the collision is just not there. They're looking to play, they're playing on the front foot. This Gateshead side cannot control the big fellas from this Sheffield side. Peter Green, he gets the ball. From that angle, it looks a touch forward, but you've got to play to the whistle. Again, Green gets it. He takes it forward. That angle looks okay. And it's Brendan Lindsay. He's always there, and they've got supporting runners every time they get the ball and they're running to the line.
Maybe a question mark about that pass from Peter Green. But the try awarded, and Woodcock will attempt to convert this one. No doubting the wonderful ball from Trevor Exton. They had to wait for a while for the PNG international to get here. But he's making an impact now. Steve McCormack in the background there watching as Woodcock hits the post and gets the 2 points. And Sheffield Eagles again in front by a difference of 12, 32-20 the scoreline.
Just look at the skill on this. To look one way and pass the other, knowing that your teammate is around the corner, is a great reaction from Sheffield. They conceded a try on the other, at the other end of the pitch, and Peter Green, let's have another look. From that angle it looks forward, from the other one it doesn't. That's why we don't judge on Sky on forward passes.
Hepworth gets to his feet to play the ball, so Gateshead have got it all to do again. Constantly chasing this game, Gateshead Thunder. Hard to believe that early on they were 4-0 up. Ever since then they've been really responding to what Sheffield come up with.
And look at that, Bill. There's 2 men in the tackle all the time for Gateshead, and they cannot turn Sheffield players onto the back to make it a slow play, the ball.
Kickers there, play on.
McAlpine retrieves that ball.
First tackle, move, hold, go.
10 tries already here tonight, and we've still got over a quarter of the game to go.
Move, 3,
Youngquist plays the ball.
Good impact from Michael Haley, that's collision.
Kayla felt that. Just gets to his feet to play the ball. The pass behind Franze. Franze, chunky figure in the Thunder centres, but not making any progress there. Good defence from the Eagles. Gibson involved.
Go, okay.
Russ Aitken taking them on. That's the 5th tackle though, just inside the Sheffield half. Brannigan chip down the middle, and Woodcock across. Brannigan blocked by Kyle Wood, and Woodcock gets away again. This time though he loses the ball, and Gateshead have it back with Youngquist, and Youngquist just a leisurely return from him initially, looking for a gap in the defence.
When you chip the ball, you need to give yourself time to chase it. That chip was direct and along the floor, making it virtually impossible for him to regather. He was hoping for the error.
McAlpine right in front of those posts for Gateshead. What can Thunder come up with here? Brannigan's ball for Knowles, and Knowles is just short.
He's held up, guys, outline. 2nd tackle, Michael. 10 minute release it.
He's held up, says the referee. And they'll play the ball, second tackle. So they've got plenty in the bag here. They don't need to panic, Gateshead.
Hold, go.
Right on that try line. Brannigan now. Here's Russ Aitken. Aitken across the field. He's found Franze. Franze on a hat-trick here. Ducks under the first, Franze. And then is driven back in the tackle. 4 tackles gone. Didn't play that ball properly. They have it back. It's Robin Pears who's got it. Referee looks to the touch judge, and touch judge says penalty Sheffield.
You picked up on it, Bill. I think it's for the incorrect play of the ball. That's what he's going back to. Good spot, Bill. Here you see, he gets up, he plays the ball sideways. The acting half. In Pears has to go forward to get it. There you go. Incorrect play of the ball. You've got to play it backwards.
Okay.
So Sheffield off the hook there.
So
Under pressure.
So not only are they giving penalties away when they're trying to defend, they're giving penalties away when they're attacking. That is criminal.
If they win this game, that's going to be some effort, isn't it? Here's Exton, though, straight up the middle. 10-1 the penalty count. Sheffield Eagles have been penalised once, and there's another one.
You do have to ask when somebody's going to go to the sin bin here.
I've asked it.
We've not answered it.
The next one.
This is really worrying. Exton gets the ball, he runs really hard, he leaves two Gateshead defenders on the floor. And if you look at the way Gateshead are defending, they're really tight. Steve McCormick will be sending on the message, you've got to get tighter, and when you defend, don't go flying out the line for a shot like that. Look, you miss and you put pressure on your teammates.
First tackle.
Kayla missed by a country mile there as he went for the big hit.
He'd have knocked his lights out if it had got him, though.
Move. Second tackle.
Haley
Go.
has run strongly for the side tonight. Now here's Peter Green.
3. Movement.
3 tackles gone. It was a real wrench for Peter Green to leave Doncaster after 8 years with the club and nearly 250 appearances. Thackeray, though, is in for his second try of the night. Great finish.
Right there, guys. Touch results, takes touch.
And
Jamie, take the touch, please.
referee just wanting to touch the video ref to check whether Ashley Thackeray might have just strayed into touch there. Touch judge wasn't certain, doesn't look like it.
That's good balance and strength, that, isn't it, from Ashley Thackeray. He knew exactly where he was on the pitch, and it was just big, strong run. He leaned into the tackle. There was no way he was going to go into touch, and that's a good try from Ashley Thackeray.
Right. Time back on, guys. Try.
Try is awarded.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thackeray gets his second of the night. Up to 5 for the season. And the root of that, again, a penalty in the middle of the field.
Look at this. This is how you run onto the ball. He's just too strong for the Gateshead players. All you can do, you've got to try and defend. And they're holding off, and you can see them when they take the ball to line. That guy, Damien Gibson, has turned into a real provider for this Sheffield side. Ashley Thackeray's having a field day outside him. He attracts the defenders in Piers, and he just slips that ball, and there's no way Ashley Thackeray is going to go into touch there.
Woodcock then, looking to land this one. And who was involved in creating that try as well, but Damien Gibson has had a big game for the side tonight. They'll be hoping that he returns from his bike ride. And he's missed with that one as Woodcock. Not had his best kicking boots on tonight, but 36-20 the scoreline now in favour of the Sheffield Eagles' favour, and Mark Aston striding down to the sidelines. Just obviously wanting to make sure that now they don't allow Gateshead another comeback as they did in the first half.
This game of you score, we score seems to have stopped. It seems to be Sheffield with players like Mitchell Stringer, who's just on the pitch. That's the momentum that they can get in the middle. Exton, good footwork, finds his front, plays the ball. We see a bit more offloading, that players likely to enjoy themselves in the last 20 minutes or so.
Well, here comes Danny Mills, enjoying himself, flirting with that touchline, couldn't get away. Needed to be a good tackle from McAlpine. Here's Menzieri, and they really are looking to turn on the heat now on this wilting Gateshead Thunder side.
And again, Bill, who did he pick out and run straight at? It was poor old Michael Knowles.
Well, straight up the middle goes Carwood. Great ball from Wood. Brooks it is.
Is that up, guys?
And Brooks is held up. Good defence in the end from Gateshead.
It was good defence on the line, but it wasn't good defence upfield. Missing far too many tackles, Gateshead.
On the last tackle, they're running it. Green will try and offload it, as he has done so effectively. And he's given a penalty for somebody stealing that ball, and eventually somebody's gone to the sin bin.
I told you it was the next one, Bill.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? That was the last tackle. They had 3 men who were defending, and it's Franze who gets sent to the sin bin. He'll be a big loss.
2 feet, guys.
Well, they really are up against it now. A rampant Sheffield Eagles side. Franze furious with that. But I should imagine that his coach will be pretty unimpressed. But meanwhile, his teammates defendingly defending heroically on their try line, trying to limit the damage here, but can they hold out here? Exton, another goal, good ball back in field to Woodcock, and Woodcock, a little dart from him. Brooks, Lindsay, here's Kyle Wood now. They all fancy a crack at it. Wood across the field, they should be in here, and Gibson, oh, is he? Is he? For his hat-trick.
I think he's in touch here.
I think he's just made contact with the flag.
It'd be a real shame for Damien Gibson. This could be his hat-trick. He gets down low. Is he in touch?
No, he's got that ball down. He's got the hat-trick.
He's rolling back the ears, Damien Gibson. You can see he dove, he knew exactly what was coming across. He's been really strong on this right side for Sheffield. Is this a try? I think it may well be.
He's had a busy night. He's awarded that try. Oh, what a night for Damien Gibson. A hat-trick. He's created another couple as well. And he's gone to 13 for the season. There's life in the old dog yet.
And if he can't get a bike on the back of this performance, nothing will ever get him a bike.
He'll have too many bikes. He'll have a Tour de France worth of bikes.
Sheffield are playing some real exciting rugby. Trevor Exton offloads the ball. Johnny Woodcock goes through again. He's standing tall in the tackle. He looks to offload the ball. And they're playing with so much confidence. If you come flying out the line, you've got to make sure that you make that tackle. And good old Damien Gibson gets in the corner. But they're causing all kinds of problems. They're playing with so much confidence. And this lad is absolutely having a field day.
Johnny Woodcock isn't quite with the goal kicking, and he's pushed that one across the face of the posts, but certainly now looks as though Sheffield Eagles are on course for another victory.
And I just felt that given the position that they were in on the scoreboard, they would enjoy these last 20 minutes or so, and the second phase rugby league that they are showing tonight, Sheffield, means that Gateshead are struggling, as they have done all night, to control them.
Paul Franze, though, had to sit and watch that try being conceded after his sending to the sin bin. Damien Gibson then a hat-trick tonight, got a hat-trick against Doncaster last month.
Hold, go.
Really is enjoying a purple patch at the moment, as are the Sheffield Eagles.
Move.
This will be 4 wins in their last 5 games. And it's going to improve their standing in the top 6. They could go to 4th on the back of this, and their rivals in that top 6 have tricky games. Toulouse, who are looking to make up ground on them, play Widnes. That's going to be a difficult game for Widnes, perhaps. This is difficult for Gateshead to defend, and Sheffield are in with Kyle Wood. And Wood gets the try, and the Eagles really are making hay now. Kyle Wood gets his 5th try of the season, and Mark Aston and Waz Savataboa, such an integral part of this Sheffield Eagles club, down on the sidelines, well satisfied now.
They're really starting to cut loose now. Again, it's Trevor Exton. He attracts the defenders. He offloads the ball yet again. And as all good halfbacks do, Kyle Wood, you've got to back up. And he backed up his partner in crime, Brendan Lindsay. But just look at the defenders. He pulls the ball, he double pumps it, he offloads the ball before he goes down. Brendan Lindsay gets it, he draws the fullback in Nick Youngquist and offloads the ball to that guy, Kyle Wood.
Well, Kyle Wood got a lift to the game with Damien Gibson today. And in the course of the journey, Damien Gibson talked Kyle Wood into doing, guess what? Lands into the John O'Groats on a bike.
Is he lending him his bike? Are they on a tandem?
They're on a tandem, I think. Can you ride tandem?
Or the handlebars.
Johnny Woodcock then with this conversion attempt, hoping to get back on target. His Eagles side look as though they're on target for the points here this evening. And Woodcock just chips that one between the posts. 46-20 the scoreline here now. And the points fest that we predicted is mainly going the way of the Sheffield Eagles.
One of the most important parts in rugby league is the push through. Lots of coaches in Super League and the Championship talk about push through, talk about more of your players in the frame, so defenders need to account for you. And that's what Sheffield have got in their favour today, and Gateshead are really struggling with.
But isn't it very easy, Barry, when you've got the ball and you're controlling the possession, it's very easy to push up in support. It's when you've got to defend that really takes the energy out of you.
Of course it is. Push through takes effort, it takes energy, and while you're defending like Gates have had all game virtually, then, you know, your tank's very low.
Well, Gateshead look a pretty demoralised bunch now. They had their chance, and they just couldn't. They couldn't capitalise on it. Got back to 26-20 right at the start of this second half with that Paul Franze interception try, but it's has all gone away from them again.
But again, Bill, there's 3 defenders there in the frame, so that means there's got to be a gap somewhere around the park. And look at that possession, 80% possession.
He's held. 5 and last, Mitch.
That's the 5th tackle.
5th and last tackle.
Stringer plays the ball. And there could be somebody else going to the sin bin here, because Gateshead getting frustrated now.
That's the sign of a frustrated side, that, isn't it?
Come here.
Anthony England, he gets up, he loses the tackle, he gets up and he pushes Mitch Stringer in the back, giving a penalty away.
Very close. Very close.
Real frustration. You can see here Michael Knowles come flying through.
To be fair, I think Mitchell Stringer might have gone down with his forearm stroke elbow.
But no matter what, though, try and do something when he's got the ball. Try and come up with a big shot to hurt him.
Yep.
Well, that penalty count just says it all, really, about Gateshead's fortunes this evening.
And if you look back at the game, Bill, you'll know that that is where you've lost it. You can't give your opposition 12 more sets, and again, running really strong, but losing the ball on that occasion.
0.
But they've got big surge. Every time they get hold of the ball and they run at the opposition, they run to win that first collision.
Move. First tackle. Go.
You can see the determination. Get out the way. And Dylan Nash, the centre, the number 4, is a real big lad.
Here's England. 2 tackles gone on the 40-metre line. He plays the ball in the Sheffield half. Neil Thorman is on. Involved in the action. The club captain Thorman, there he is. He serves that ball up for Russ Aitken. Aitken then for England again. Gateshead, if they're going to stage a comeback, they've got to get their skates on here. The way this game has seesawed, you wouldn't bet against it, but it's probably unlikely, although they could be in here. McAlpine is just short of the try line. McAlpine plays the ball. Nash trying his luck, and he is faced by a posse of Eagles players. Absolutely no way through.
If he'd have beat those 5 plays, he'd have scored that try, Tez.
And again, Baz, it's the second time he's come up with the wrong option on the last play. There's no way he's going to get through these Sheffield defenders. He tries to get down, he tries to offload the ball, but you see 1, 2, 3, 4 Sheffield defenders, they're urgently trying to push him into touch.
Go.
Especially in one of them, Menziyeri.
2.
You've got to get round him first.
Hold. Go.
So this is a good result for Lee Centurions, who are in danger of getting dragged into that relegation battle down at the bottom of the table. Leaves Gateshead in the bottom 2, assuming that they don't stage a miraculous recovery here.
4.
Lee with a tough trip to the Barrow Raiders. The Barrow Raiders now, of course, in charge of, or under the control of Steve Deacon, who's returned to the game. Hepworth has burst through. Hepworth skips away from the first. He's got support from Kyle Wood. Wood has support from Lindsay. Lindsay has lost the ball. And it's a knock-on. The way things are going for Gateshead, you have expected that to be a penalty for the ball being stolen.
But what push through again from
Gateshead ball.
Ryan Hepworth. Ryan Hepworth makes the ball available. Again, it's support players, bodies, faces, shirts in the frame. Brendan Lindsay unable to get that ball to a supporting play, but the good signs, they are enjoying themselves.
Just going back to that Barrow Raiders situation, Dave Clark stepping down, Steve Deacon coming in. What do you make of that?
It's an interesting move, isn't it? Des Johnson doesn't mess about. They got to the final, and they started really strongly this year, Barrow. Obviously, Des Johnson thinks that they need a new change, and Steve Deacon's gone in. He's now the man in charge. Dave Clark's actually his assistant till the end of the year, and we'll see how they go from there, Bill.
Steve Deacon's style of coaching is very dictatorial. He will get the discipline in the club. He'll make sure that everybody is 100% sure and confident in what the game plan and structure of the club and the team is.
Penalty Gateshead. Pull back by Sheffield. Play away, Andrew. Get every
There you go.
Penalty.
Gateshead have got a penalty. They've not given one away.
Their only second penalty of the game. And somebody held back in back play, says the referee.
It was Michael Knowles that was held back. Let's see what they can do here. Can they come up with the right play at the right time? They need to score 14 points, Bill, to get the bonus point here. That's very important for them.
Well, on the charge.
I think they're going to score in this set of 6.
2 feet, Sheffield.
It's England who'll get to his feet to play the ball very slowly. Here's Thorman, puts the brakes on. And by that time, the Eagles defenders have got a hold of him, but he's done well to offload that ball, Neil Thorman. They've kept it alive with Aitken. Aitken finds Youngquist, and Youngquist for the hat-trick.
OK, Brandon, happy with that.
And Nick Youngquist, well, he's got something to smile about this evening. Gets his 3rd try of the night. And Steve McCormack, and just that handful of Gateshead Thunder fans who are down here to witness it, have something to celebrate. Nick Youngquist, I think, with a touch of crampo.
Well, I tell you what, Barry, you've not only had a dictionary tonight, you've got a crystal ball. They did score in that set of 6, and you thought that they'd fluffed it. Neil Thorman had gone up, there was no support with him, but Youngquist, he chimes into the line and he reads the play ever so well from the back. You look, Brannigan again, they take the ball to the line, there's no support. They stay up strong, they offload the ball. Henderson taps it back to Brannigan, and watch Youngquist, he comes round the back, he's got very good vision, and he gets Gateshead back to within, scoring 1 point in the bonus point.
Well, Knowles needs to land this conversion just to improve their prospects, and he's given it a good thump just wide of the target. He'd got the distance for sure. 46-24 the scoreline now. And Nick Youngquist into double figures for the season.
The game of you score, we score has been going on all day, and look at Damien Gibson. He's just attracted by Franze. He loses his hips, shows Youngquist his back, and he just exploits that, goes through the gap.
OK, Johnny.
And gets his 3rd try of the match. Great work for him.
Yeah, Paul Franze back in the action from the sin bin, so Gateshead back to full complement, but still well adrift on this scoreboard.
First tackle.
Mind you, in that
Hold.
game up at the Gateshead International Stadium earlier in the season when Gateshead won,
Go.
that was a very dramatic finish. Sheffield Eagles coming back
Move. Go.
and almost snatching it in the closing minutes.
OK, well done.
And that's how dangerous Andrew Henderson is. He needs them quick play the balls off the big lads in the middle of the park. If he wants to exploit any loose defenders, that's what he needs.
5 and last.
That's the 5th tackle.
5th and last tackle. Go. 5th and last tackle,
Well,
Luke.
little chip kick ahead from
clear.
Brannigan. Woodcock, and again he knew exactly where that ball was going to end up.
Centre, Rick Roach.
Again, it needs to be high, it needs to give the chasers chance to catch it. Otherwise, you're looking for an error, and you're hoping that the bloke that regathers the ball knocks it on, and unfortunately he didn't on that occasion.
Here's Tanguy Rapati in the action. Rapati, who was a major fitness doubt for the Eagles before the game and has only just joined the action, in fact.
Movement.
Has a bit of a back problem, so Mark Aston deciding to keep him in reserve until late on.
That's the sign of a good coach, that isn't it? Not putting one of your strike players out in Tanguy Rapati. He knows he can play the game, but you've got to make sure you look after your plays, and you've got to get your plays right for when they play in the big games come the end of the year.
Knock on, guys.
That ball went forward, says the referee, and a little bit of carelessness from the Sheffield Eagles there.
I thought it touched you when you caught it. Knock on.
Where's the knock on?
Johnny Woodcock juggling with the ball. Sheffield disputing that.
OK, lock in.
Plenty of chat out there.
Out. Sorry.
Here's Franze. Franze bumps off the first challenge from Gibson. Gibson comes back to join the tacklers to make sure he doesn't make any further progress. Gateshead coming back strongly. That ball's been lost.
Mitchell
And they've got another penalty.
Do Gates have the right now to ask the referee whether that is a possible sin binning?
That's only the 3rd penalty.
Realistically, it's only the 3rd penalty. You'll be a bit tough there, Barry, aren't you?
I'm gonna predict.
Three penalties in 73 minutes, and you want to send someone to the bin?
No, I'm gonna predict that Gateshead are going to score in this 76.
Oh, that's a bold prediction.
I'm telling you.
And your Mystic Meg here wasn't wrong last time.
Mystic Baz.
2, movement, hold, go.
Right in front of those posts. And Henderson's going for it himself, and Henderson is short of the try line.
Come on, Endo.
Go.
3 tackles gone. They are in. They are in. And it's Thorman who's got the try. Well, the bonus point might be within their reach.
Brendan.
And Thorman off the bench and getting his 4th try of the season.
And Mitch Stringer, the Sheffield players, done everything right. They turned him onto his back. There was no need to give that penalty away. Neil Thorman, he gets out, he pumps it. Sam Barlow falls for that dummy. Does he get the conversion?
Knowles it is. Bang in front of the posts. Yes, he does. 46-30 the scoreline.
About 5, I think.
Sheffield in no hurry. Steve McCormack pacing on the sidelines. Neil Thorman, hero of that win at the Thunderdome earlier in the season. A try scorer this evening. And ever present this season, as you can see. Referee's called time off.
Okay, Johnny, time back on.
Gateshead have been really good in yardage. I expect them and predict them to break the halfway line with the yardage plays here.
I think you should quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, I'm not going to
drop the ball now.
Alex, don't throw the ball away. Wait there.
No, he actually said in yardage plays. This is a penalty.
Does this not count?
No, it doesn't count.
Unless this kick gets over the halfway line, which...
And you can see, if you run hard and you run straight into the opposition and you're controlling the way, the speed at which you're going to play that ball, they're always going to frustrate them and try and give some penalties away or earn some penalties, as we do in rugby league.
Go.
Well, a bonus point is a prospect for the Gateshead Thunder, and a bonus point could be precious for them come the relegation shakedown at the end of the season. Franze got to his feet and continued moving then. Across the field goes Russ Aitken. Aitken's lost that ball, it's come back.
Knock on, guys.
Knock on, and Sheffield have it back.
Go forward. 2 calls.
And that's what makes this championship really exciting. 16 points behind, they're probably not, well, they're not going to go on to win the game, but they're still in there with a chance of getting that bonus point. They're trying everything, he offloads the ball. There was no one in that next hole, there was no one realistically that could catch that ball. Henderson had just switched off, and now Sheffield have the ball, bringing it out of their own 20.
With Ripati, who was looking for the penalty there.
2, movement.
Up to the 40-metre line, Sheffield, and just looking to run the clock down now. And
3,
onto the halfway line they reach now, and
go.
just making sure that this bonus point is beyond Gateshead's reach now. Another Eagles try, and it certainly is.
Movement.
So Sheffield Eagles maintain their home record against Gateshead. 1999 was the last time Gateshead Thunder won here, and that was in their Super League days when they won 23 points to 6. And since then, 7 visits, 7 defeats. Will make it 8 now tonight.
You can see every time the big Sheffield forwards get the nose through, they're getting their arm through, and they're trying to offload that ball. Defensively, Gateshead have not won this game. They go for a long kick down pitch.
McAlpine is chasing it, but so too is Woodcock. And Woodcock's made a mess of it. And who's come up with the ball? It's Woodcock who's come up with it. Well, an air shot, I think they call that in golf.
Voluntary tackle.
And the penalty goes Gateshead Thunder's way here.
Can they score here, Mystic Baz?
Yeah.
Voluntary tackle, was it?
Yeah, it was a voluntary tackle by Damien Gibson.
Franze taking him on. Oh, he can't get the ball down.
Knock on, guys.
And great defence right on their own try line, right in the closing minutes. Franze looking for his hat-trick as well.
Centre, guys.
That's urgency, that billet in your defensive line. 77 minutes gone, and they turn up for each other and force Franze. You can see the kick there by Woodcock. McAlpine thought he was going to get that ball, but here's the voluntary tackle. Damien Gibson goes down. None of the Gateshead players lay a hand on him, and that's why the penalty was conceded.
So 2 minutes to go. Sheffield Eagles ahead by 46 points to 30. Gateshead still pressing to get within bonus point range, 12 points.
And I was going to say about the defensive effort from this Gateshead side. You can't... Oh, they get a bit of another go here. See Mark Aston shaking his head, but they've got one more chance to score a try.
Time off. No, don't you have only 6 players.
Haley it was. Just... Oh, and even then you've got to wonder whether Kayla had a hand in. But anyway, these penalties have come too late for Gateshead Thunder in this game.
Move! Tackle, go!
But can they get across here just in the closing minutes? Thorman. Good ball from Thorman. They're inside that Sheffield 20 with 2 tackles gone. Here is Thorman again. Russ Aitken and then Aitken.
They need some movement around the ball. Everyone stood flat-footed. Someone's got to really come charging onto that ball.
Aitken. Here's Brannigan. Thorman. Nobody willing to take him on. Youngquist's ball, not a good one. Picked up by McAlpine. They come back in field. 4 tackles gone.
Hold!
Michael Knowles.
Go!
They need the try. Bonus point then could be theirs. Here is Francie again, and Francie will take him on once more, and Francie will get there this time. Or has he?
Jamie.
Has he got his hat-trick?
Check the ground in there, please. I didn't see it at all.
Has he got the bonus point?
Did he ground it, Bill, or did he lose it before he crossed over that try line?
Well, we saw Ryan Oh, he's lost the ball. He's lost it, Francie.
And again, it's defensive efforts that win you that game. You can just see the team of Sheffield, and Ashley Thackeray is, who comes up with a lunge. He goes to ground, he rolls over that ball, and he loses it at that point there before the try line. Sheffield have been very good defensively. They've only missed 7 tackles, whereas this Gateshead side have missed 24. And that's an urgency, and that's a willingness to work when you want to defend your own try line.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley Thackeray has been among the try scorers tonight, getting 2 tries, but that's a big tackle as well.
Knock on, guys, no try.
Franze, well, I think he knew in his heart of hearts that he didn't have control of that ball when he went over the line, and that is the last opportunity for Gateshead. There'll be no bonus point for them tonight, surely, unless they can come up with something here in the last 15 seconds of the game, but Sheffield in no hurry to pack this scrum.
Okay.
And they'll just run the clock down now to guarantee the 5th win in the last 6 games. And Woodcock, scorer of one of the outstanding tries tonight, in possession at the last, eventually tackled. And the referee brings a halt to the proceedings. Mark Aston turns away with plenty to think about, really. Maybe not defensively the perfect performance, neither so for the Gateshead Thunder, and disappointment for the coach Steve McCormack, but delight for Damien Gibson, that man. One of the hat-trick scorers tonight. Nick Youngquist, of course, got one for Gateshead Thunder. Paul Franze almost got one, denied by the video ref, but a total of 15 tries. And I said, or beg your pardon, we said on Sky Sports News earlier on this evening, we were in for a try fest, and one of the try scorers was Damien Gibson. One of the hat-trick claimers was the man who will be on his bike next month for a good cause, Damien Gibson, and he's with Ben.
Damien, a fantastic individual performance and a good result for Sheffield.
Yeah, mate, it was always going to be a tough night for us. They've had some good form coming up to this week, but we have too, and it was always going to be tough, but we stuck it out and got the points.
And 3 tries for yourself, a couple of assists as well. Very deserving winner of a man-of-the-match performance. It was... they made it tough for you though, didn't they, Gateshead?
Yeah, they did. We stopped completing in the second half, but luckily we'd done enough hard work early on in the game with some good individual performances out there, but great as a team. You know, the boys worked hard tonight, and it wasn't an easy game by any means.
It looked like a game that no one really wanted to win.
Yeah, it got a bit scrappy at the end, but there were some good glimpses early on, but it's just the way it went. I mean, with the weather we had, it's great conditions, you know, it made itself, you know, good for rugby league, but we didn't sort of take advantage of that in the second half, and we got a bit sloppy.
And not the only challenge for you, because I believe you've decided on a bike ride between Land's End and John O'Groats, but not got a bicycle yet.
No, mate, I haven't done much bike riding. I'm doing it to raise money for one of my good friends, his son, Rudy Bob, who's got a rare cancer, and I want to try and earn as much money as I can for the little fella.
Well done, Damien. You are tonight's man of the match. You also get some money to give to a charity of your choice. Where's that going, please?
It'll have to go to little Rudy Bob.
Thanks very much, Damien. Let's bring in another hat-trick hero tonight, Nick Youngquest. Nick, 3 tries for yourself, but not the result you wanted.
No, obviously not, mate. You know, it's been a tough time since I got here to the club. So, mate, all we can do is turn up for training and train hard and hope we turn it around.
And what a difference 4 days makes. A great result against Widnes on Sunday, but this is always a very tough place to come.
Yeah, of course, you know, it was a great win, but we said during the week that win was going to mean nothing if we come here tonight and didn't get the points, and that's happened. So it's a tough road in now, and, you know, hopefully we can avoid relegation and we turn up next week and we've got Batley, so it doesn't get any easier.
That's right. 5 tough games to come and 5 cup finals, really, to avoid relegation.
Yeah, that's right, mate. So we've just got to turn up and train hard and, you know, hope it turns around for us and keep putting in for each other. Thanks
very much, Nick. Thanks for talking to us. Also got the Sheffield coach, Mark Aston. Mark, a lot of coaches say defence wins matches. That wasn't about defence, was it?
No, it's about an attitude. I give respect to Gateshead. They're a quality team. I've watched a few videos and they're very dangerous with the kicking game. They've got some quality players. You look at Youngquest, who scored 3 tries there. They're outstanding and they're a great team, you know. So it's always going to be a nice scoring game. When you play Gateshead, that's what you've got to do. You just got to grind out. We won the game in the first half, then lost it again, then got away again, then nearly lost it again. You know, we did a lot of good stuff, but we've still got a lot of work to do, there's no doubt.
3 points that take you into 3rd place with Widnes at the moment, but you've said that this is one of 3 big games that you have to win. Tough trips at Whitehaven and Batley up next.
Well, they're all big now, aren't they? And we were disappointed last weekend with the efforts we put out against Lee last weekend because we'd have been sat second now, and you know, it's something. We've had a bit of a turbulent start and we struggled at the early stages, but we're getting a little bit better now. And coming to the business end of the season, that's what you want. And a few more faces coming back. We're hoping to have Jack Howison back next week, who just signed a new 2-year contract. Brendan Lindsay, the old warrior, and he just signed another 12 months. And you look at Gibbo, 3 tries tonight. So we're coming right at the right time of the season.
Slight miscalculation on my part. I think you're currently 4th in the table, but every match vital because everyone's jostling for position.
We've got 2 tough away games now. We play Whitehaven away next week and then Batley the week after, and then we've got 3 home games, which are massive as well. So, you know, 5 games to go. We've got 3 at home and 2 away, and you know, just take each game as it comes now, and let's just cement ourselves in the top 6 and then see what happens from there. On his day, we're as good as anybody. There's no doubt about that.
Thanks very much, Mark. Well done.
Thank you.
So a delighted Sheffield Eagles coach, and well, he might be after that victory. 46-30 the scoreboard reads. There were 70-plus points when these two met at the Thunderdome earlier in the season, and Gateshead came out on top. So they're really